All right, so the setup is a little bit simplistic, but as some of you know, I've quit my corporate job in the pharmaceutical industry around 7 days ago, and I wanted to use some of the free time to, first of all, figure out what's next, and also to catch up on some of the technological developments that I feel like I've been missing out because I was a bit more focused on the day-to-day topics. So in the next, I guess, 3 to 4 days, I want to read about cryptocurrency, and also Bitcoin, and all of the different aspects and understanding of what blockchain can do, because I feel like I'm lacking there. And so this is day one. I'm going to start by asking ChatGPT to first of all dumb it down completely for me, and then we're going to get a little bit more into details on how this could help from an industry perspective. And then I want to start also trading and looking at what's going on in the world of trading. So that's the plan for the next couple of days. It's not a very professional backdrop, but let's just read some interesting things. So I have my coffee with me. Let's get started. We will ask ChatGPT. Let's check. Oh my god, maybe 03. Let's ask ChatGPT, what the hell do people mean when they say crypto? Maybe I'll refine my prompt a little bit because this is too crazy. I am a beginner. You are a great pedagogist who is training me to learn everything about crypto in a record amount of time. I want you for the rest of our conversation to act as an executive trainer. Don't hesitate to give examples to illustrate your talking points. Okay, so then talking points. Then I'm gonna first give him this prompt. Starting crypto training. This 03 is interesting. We're the 7th of February. So as ChatGPT is re-updating every day, and I'm not sure if I have access to the ChatGPT research quite yet. Let's start with 03 minute, then we can go to the research topic. So, welcome to your Accelerated Crypto Training Program. As your executive trainer, my goal is to help you build a comprehensive understanding of the crypto world in a streamlined and practical way. Fantastic. Through our sessions, I break down complex topics into clear, actionable insights and real-world examples. Let's begin by outlining our roadmap. Okay, so I think this is already like a big chunk of knowledge. So first of all, I need to understand, I don't know anything about crypto. Let's do a simple Q&A and go through your teaching program. My question: what is blockchain? Okay. It's explaining what it's doing. All right. A digital ledger. At its core, a blockchain is a digital ledger or record-keeping system that tracks transactions. Imagine a traditional ledger book where you record every transaction, but instead of one person holding the book, copies are shared among many people. Okay, this makes sense. How does it work? Transactions are grouped together into blocks. Each block is linked to the one before it, forming a chain of blocks. Think of it like a train where each carriage, a block, is securely attached to the one in front of it. Once a carriage is added, you can change its position or content without affecting the entire train. Okay, I didn't understand this part 2 because what is inside of this block? Maybe before I go in, I want to ask, before I move forward, I am already stuck at part 2. What is inside the block? Is it transactions from one person, from multiple people, and how do you know what is in these transactions? Is it like in my bank account where I see the transactions? What's inside the blocks? Okay, but you have to do it in a simple way. Okay, a typical block in a blockchain has 2 main parts. This is like the summary of the block. First of all, a reference to the previous block, a timestamp when the block was created, then a number of proof of work system to have validated, okay, and then other data, metadata. This is too much detail already. Then the transaction list. Okay, what's inside the block? Multiple transactions from multiple people. Each block contains a batch of transactions that have been broadcast by many users, not just one person, okay? Like in a supermarket where dozens of purchases have been made, the cashier, who would be here the miner or the validator, group all of these purchases into one record in one block. Okay. And then each transaction, you have the sender and the receiver address, similar to account numbers. These are public keys or addresses that indicate who sent and who received the value. The amount transferred, how much crypto has been moved. Okay, it's like in a bank account. Then the digital signatures, so the cryptographic proof that confirms the transaction was authorized by the owner. Okay, it's like a digital signature. This is clear. And then in some blockchains, the transactions may include extra information like smart contract interactions. Okay, we need to talk about smart contract later, but I will pick it for the next topic. How do you know? But okay, my question is, does it mean that everyone sees your transactions? This is what I need to understand. Okay, this is the next answer. So transparency, unlike a private bank account where you only see the transactions, the blockchain is public ledger. It's like a giant online spreadsheet that anyone can view. Each row in the spreadsheet is a transaction that everyone can see, verify, and audit. Okay, so I understood now that you create blocks from all the transactions that everyone is doing in the whole world, I guess. You put, let's say, a certain number of transactions together and you put them in a block. And you link this block to the previous blocks of transactions. So you have, every time one block is referring to the previous one, I assume this means that you cannot lie or add transactions in between because it's always referring to the previous one. So we'll see what will happen now. Okay, but doesn't this pose problems of privacy? Because maybe I don't want everyone to see what I'm doing. Okay, and this is actually already answering it. So while all the transactions are visible, the identities behind the addresses are typically pseudonymous. This means you see the transaction details, the address, the amount, and the timestamp, but not the personal information. So no one knows that I'm spending Bitcoin into something specific or to give it to someone in particular. They will see the transaction, but they may not know that it's me that is behind it. Yeah, okay, it's like seeing a list of bank account numbers and amounts without knowing who's each number to. Okay. And then there are explorers. Okay, so there's a way to kind of search through it. Tools like Blockchair, Etherscan, or blockchain.com allow anyone to search and view transactions similar to checking your bank statement, but on a public platform. So I could enter my Bitcoin address into a blockchain explorer to see every transaction that has ever touched that address. Okay, so, all right. Okay, I have to process this. So basically, you have a way to make transactions, and all the transactions that you make are recorded, blocked together, and every time a certain amount of transaction reaches this block, it's referencing to the one prior. Okay. So how is it similar to a bank account? Transaction recording. In both cases, transactions are recorded. In the bank account, you see the deposit and withdrawals listed in your bank statement. And for blockchain, every transaction is recorded in a block as part of the public ledger. All right. Then the differences. In the bank, a central authority, the bank, manages and restricts who can see it. And in blockchain, the ledger is decentralized and publicly available, but the identities are masked by addresses. It's actually the opposite, I guess. So in the bank, you really have to authentify to see the transaction. And here the transaction is public, but no one has your identity. Okay. The bank transaction can be sometimes altered or reversed under certain conditions. And here, the blockchain transactions, when confirmed, are pretty much impossible to change. Okay, so I think I understood here. So it's a little bit different, because I was, asking myself, how is it different than paying in dollars or in dinar or in pounds? Because you can just call your currency however you want. You can still trade it online if you have an online bank account, right? So this has been one of my questions. So here, I guess the transparency is really what makes a difference, but it's a transparency of the transactions and not necessarily a transparency of the people's net worth or what's not. So you can still have kind of a bank secrecy or privacy for yourself, but it allows to really avoid to have this third party or this big authority or this big bank that is the one that is managing and seeing everything and reconciliating it. Okay, ChatGPT offered me an example, which is the farmer sells the product. The market manager writes down each sales on a giant chalkboard. Each sales entry include the farmer identifier, the buyer's identifier, and what was exchanged. I think this analogy is a bit whack. Anyone walking by can see the entire chalkboard, but they only see the identifiers, not the personal details behind them. Yeah, they might know some nicknames. Okay. All right. So, I realized I was still wearing my headphones. Oh my god. So it seems as I understood this part, I would say. Okay, so I think I understood this part. Can we continue the class? No, wait, he's already moving forward. No, I want to go. I think we were stuck at part 2, where digital ledger, block and chain structure. Decentralization, security and trust. Okay. Can we go through this part 3? Decentralization. Explain this part 3 and why it matters for normal people and for businesses. I pasted what he gave me, or it gave me. What are you doing? There's a little cat here that is making all sorts of noises. Come on, what are you doing? Crazy cats. It's not mine though. Alright, so let's see what GPT is telling me. GPT is telling me decentralization. Instead of relying on a single central authority or like a bank or government, this we saw, a blockchain is maintained by a network of independent computers known as nodes. Every node holds a complete copy of the entire blockchain. Okay, who has these computers? Okay, individual, enthusiast, and hobbyist. Anyone can join. In many public blockchain networks, the system is open. It means if you have the technical know-how and the necessary hardware, you can download the blockchain software and run a node from your home or office. They often run nodes to help secure the network, participate in verifying transactions, and sometimes even earn rewards. Wait, I still don't understand. Okay, wait, I will read more. Miners and mining pools. In networks that use proof of work consensus mechanism like Bitcoin. Okay, I think I need to get like a notes app. Just gonna write my question like when I used to do research, you know. Because why not? Just because why not? So, we're gonna make a blank document. So, they said that they want to secure the network and participate in verifying transactions, and I don't know what it means. What does it mean? Do they have to check anything by hand, or do they just give their internet basically and computing capabilities for the greater good? Okay, that's one of my questions. All right, then we have the next question, which is the miner and the mining pools. I don't know what this the proof of work consensus mechanism like Bitcoin. I don't know what this is. Okay, maybe this is it. I will just add it here in my questions. Crypto unanswered questions. You know, I slept on this topic for so long. It's unbelievable, you know. It's just like AI felt like so much more graspable because it's more like solving any problem that you have, or kind of just a computing tool to solve any problem that you may face, or create new text or images or something. But I feel like the value of the crypto, except speculation, which is anyhow, you know, culturally for me a little bit difficult, except for speculation, it seemed always like a little bit scammy. So I mean, I bought 50 euros of Bitcoin and it's now 100 euros. So, but I'm like, okay, and now what? You know? I feel like I still don't know what is going on. So the question was, what is this proof of work consensus mechanism like Bitcoin? So this I think I will ask again. All right, and we have specialized mining hardware. In networks that use the proof of work consensus mechanism like Bitcoin, the miners invest in powerful computers designed to solve complex mathematical puzzles. These computers validate the transactions and add new blocks to the blockchain. So the same question as before, how do they do it? And the mining pools, since mining can be competitive, many miners join force in mining pools which combine their resources to increase their chances of earning rewards. Mining pools operate nodes on the blockchain as part of their operation. Okay. And then number 3, enterprise use. Many businesses and organizations run nodes to leverage blockchain for various applications, from secure record keeping to facilitating decentralized finances. I guess these are the organizations that are having services that are using decentralized services. But maybe I could add to myself as a question, why would they do this? Like, what's the advantage? Like, what are the enterprise uses? I would like to hear in real use cases. So I will add real use cases. I mean, I wouldn't use GPT to answer complex research questions, but it's just, I think for the basics of technologies or science, I think it's quite good. At least I've tested it long enough on neuroscience to know that the rough lines, it doesn't get wrong. It's mostly the scientific details that it gets wrong. So service providers, some companies specialize in providing blockchain infrastructure and services. Yeah, okay, so you can commercialize this. And then exchange and financial institutions. This I don't know like how widespread it is, because I thought the financial institutions like the stock exchange are still very old school. So I'm curious to know, are the stock exchange, like the Dow Jones or something, using this already? I'm gonna put my questions in yellow. What is this? Okay, I have a sense of what it is, because I go to conferences and I've heard about Bitcoin ages ago. Like, I remember a time where you could buy a t-shirt for 15 Bitcoins, and now it would be like, I don't know, I think it was 90k, so that would be an expensive t-shirt. I'm gonna put my questions in yellow. I'm gonna put this video online just in case people are also annoyed to try to understand what the hell is blockchain. All right, so I think we're almost there. Then in practice, how does it work? I guess, the decentralization is the whole purpose of it, right? So the strength lies in the fact that no single entity controls all of the nodes, but you have a copy that is run by independent parties collectively, which maintain the integrity. I'm starting to think this could really solve a lot of corruption problems, actually. Especially, I've been working on the African continent for a few months already, like almost a year now. So maybe we could add as a question, could this solve the problem of corruption in foreign aid, for example? Or gaining market in, I'm gonna write third world countries. It's probably not PC, but they are corrupt. Let's be real. Let's be honest with ourselves. All right, so then this is cool. Then the global participation, these nodes are spread around the world, which increases the network's resilience. Even if some nodes go offline, the blockchain continues to operate because the rest of the network maintains a full copy of the ledger. All right, so this is good. This is some like redundancy of the system. This is really nice. Why this matters? Enhanced security, because many independent parties control the nodes. Tampering with the blockchain is extremely difficult. Any malicious exchange would need to be replicated across a vast number of nodes simultaneously. Yeah. Then Transparency and trust. With the ledger distributed among numerous nodes, everyone can verify transactions independently. This builds trust. Yeah, this is probably the same thing as the corruption topic. And then accessibility and resilience. The open nature of many blockchain networks allow anyone to contribute, ensuring that the system remains accessible and resistant to censorship or centralized control. Okay, so this is good. Analogy recap. I asked GPT to give me analogy, so I cannot complain about it. If you have a Google Sheet that's shared with thousands of people around the world, everyone has access. Any change made is immediately visible to all. Not a single person or group can alter the data without everyone else noticing. I would doubt it, knowing the kind of consortium that can happen sometimes, you know, of 50 people trying to edit one file. But okay, that's how, well, yeah, I mean, you would get some tracking. That's how blockchain nodes work together to maintain and verify the ledger. In summary, the computer nodes that run the blockchain are operated by a mix of individual volunteers, miners, companies, and institutions. This diverse and decentralized network is key to ensuring the security, transparency, and reliability of blockchain technology. Actually, I'm also starting to think that maybe this could be useful in the political space because, okay, I'm recording this on the 7th of February, so if you follow international news, you know everything is, let's say, fact-checking is becoming harder and harder in around the world. This could be really interesting, perhaps for, you know, journalists, or maybe let's say one government commits to give 10 million or 100 million euros if this or that is done, and then the different parties would have to provide the data for the money to be unlocked. So maybe I could put here applications in trust for journalists, factfulness, and for political engagements. So I'm thinking about climate agreements more specifically, where long-term goals are set, and so you could kind of maybe even make so that some money reward could be unlocked if a certain temperature is measured or something, you know. So okay, this is just a little bit of brainstorming. I'm starting to get a little bit saturated already from the knowledge I gained, to be honest. I already some questions that I could still answer today, so maybe I could still ask this one, which is here. And so I'm asking here if the people who are verifying the transaction, let's say I'm a hobbyist and I have my node, do I do it by hand or not? So they use their machine to automatically run the necessary algorithm that check the validity. No hand check is required, reliable and efficient. Okay, but I have a question. What if the reliability software get hacked? What if it gets hacked? Because then, or maybe it cannot get hacked by default, I don't know. But I doubt that something cannot get hacked. Okay, so here it says that it's open source, which means everyone has access to the software, which means people can constantly try to improve it and make sure it's okay. Ah, okay, so the safety is also one of the features of having this decentralization. All of these independent nodes must be verified, but all of the other softwares that is in compromise will reject it. Okay, that's very cool. Yeah, it's like if you have a jury where everyone must agree on the fact of a case, if one is compromised or corrupt, their opinion will not change the verdict. Huh, this is very cool. And then the rapid patching and upgrades. If a security flaw is discovered, the community works together to create a patch. Once the patch is released, the The operators are encouraged to update their software to protect against vulnerability. I'm getting sleepy because of too many information. In case there's a vulnerability that is severe and widespread, the community might coordinate a hard fork to remove the vulnerability from the protocol entirely. Okay, so you remove it completely. Okay. Last point on redundancy and multiple implementations. Okay, so it's not one software who validates the validity of the transactions. That's also clever. Oh, this is clever. Cool. I'm starting to get into this. I'm, hitting the table, but okay, so you have one way of verifying and a second way of verifying. And then you have thousands of nodes. So even if you have a few compromises, even if you have one software that is compromised for all, maybe the second one will be fine. The camera is tracking my hand movement. It's hilarious because I'm Mediterranean, Real world considerations, targeting the network. For an attacker to do serious damage by hacking node software, they would need to exploit vulnerabilities on a significant portion of the network simultaneously. This is extremely challenging due to the network size and the continuous vigilance of the community. While the core software is open source, there's always a risk from a supply chain attack, for example, malicious update or compromised libraries. But developers and users can often detect such attacks through checksums, code audits, and community alerts. In summary, hacking a single node isn't catastrophic, robust community and quick response, and there's multiple verification methods. So it's not a problem. All right, so I think this one I understood this question, and I'm gonna kind of bar it. Can I bar this? Can I, how do you do this? I'm really so tired. Text, strike through. And I'm just gonna add this one as an answer. Whoa. Let's see what comes through after this. Oh, I'm tired. OMG. All right, so this one, we can remove the color. This is kind of the answer. Very good. Tomorrow I will ask questions about the rest. My brain is already cooking from all of this information. Thank you for joining me in this journey to finally understand what the heck is crypto. I don't know. And I'll see you, I guess, tomorrow. Bye. C'est bon là, stop, arrête! Stop tracking me, you little crazy.